Okay, awesome. Here we are live. I think, Julie, this is our sixth video in this series about your unique business blueprint. We have gone live six times over the last few weeks. And yeah, this is our last one before the holidays.
It's our last one. It's our last one. The holiday spirit is here,
It
and I'm
is.
excited. I'm excited to take time to be with family and reflect and just be in the spirit of what it means to be in the holidays. So good stuff.
Yeah, me too. And I am really feeling that solstice energy right now. Like we talked a little bit about that yesterday. And yeah, I'm feeling this deep desire to just go inside, go internal and not do anything. Not think about anything really, just maybe be in a more reflective spirit. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today. So it's interesting. Julie and I have this amazing course coming up that'll start at some point in January, towards the end of January, about really, yeah, discovering, activating your unique business blueprint. And so there's so much stuff that we have to talk about. Like truly, like I was this just hit me, Julie, as we were coming on, is like the amount of material that we have to cover is huge. And when Julie and I talked this morning about, okay, what direction do we want to take it today to wrap? I thought yesterday, oh, I'm going to talk about whatever, right? Like I know it's going to come to me. And what actually came to me was no, time to wrap. Like literally, like let's wrap it up and then let's go internal. And how we know, and Julie was having the same, very similar experience as I was. And so, what I know from my human design, connecting this to everything that we've been talking about, is when I don't have a lit up sacral about what I want to talk about, then it's probably time to reflect. It's because I pretty much always want to talk about something, right? I'm always lit up about something. And same to you, like talk about, you don't have the sacral, but you absolutely have intuitive hits. So talk about that experience for you.
Well, for me, it's interesting because we both are in alignment with this. For me, the process has been very different, though. My practice has been from human design, the understanding of the impact of the surrender. Because
Mm,
for me, as a mental projector, I have the gate of confusion, the gate of doubt, and I'm very processy, and I go in circles and I go in circles and I go in circles, and I have to figure it out. I have to figure it out. And when I can't figure things out, my old patterning, and still my patterning now, but it's a practice, is try harder, do more. And what I have learned and what I continue to practice is this idea of being receptive, going into the energy of receiving, and that the downloads and the clarity come from the inaction versus the taking action. And it's also very contemplative. I mean, human design has so much insight and information, and we need time to reflect. We need time to process if we're really going to embody it, which we were talking about too on the call beforehand. We are bringing that into this program, this time of of reflection, so that we can take the information that we learn, have the hits, the ahas, and create the awareness so that we can then move it forward in our businesses and in our lives. So sometimes the best thing that we can do is not do. And I
right,
think that's really what we're
right.
celebrating with the solstice, and that's what it's
Yeah.
teaching us, that we go into the darkness to prepare for what's to come. And 2022 is going to be a great year, and it's going to be a year of transformation. And our intention is to help people go on that journey and really learn uh, to incorporate new practices and new rituals and new insights in their business and in their lives to really get them into alignment. And with all of the changes that have taken place over the last couple of years, it's the perfect timing to do this. So yeah.
It really is. It really is. And that, like, I think about this period of time, like you're right after solstice, we're now in, fully in winter. And it's sort of like um going into a cocoon. And, like really it's sort of like that, isn't it? That and stuff kind of gets mixed together, but there's nothing for us to do. Like it's, when a butterfly goes into a cocoon, like he's not taking his checklist in, right? The natural process that happens for butterflies is they get turned into this goo, right? Scrambled, right? And that process is very natural. And that's what I think this metaphor we're really working with today. It's like we're going into this reflective process. There's nothing for us to do. Just a little bit of reflection, not any thinking actually that needs to be done, not any actions that we need to do. And that's just really appropriate for this time of year. And I think it's funny that, again, of all the information that we have to share, which is aplenty, that we were both like, no, it's like, it's actually, we're going to talk about reflection
Yeah.
and just, yeah, kind of regrouping in a way. And I think one of the things for me that I'm really talking, to myself about is, you know, what do I really want? What do I really want when I look at, year in, year out, where the most like the juiciest engagements for me, like the things I enjoy the most, the things that I feel aligned the most in, like what is that? And then sometimes I wander down these rabbit trails, right? Because that's, we've talked about, that's part of my design. And then I always wander back. And I think this is also part of this time. I know, like, I really love just, offering to people, a direction, a path, like not laid out 1, 2, 3, but like, hey, look over here. Here's where some clarity is, and here's where this taking aligned action over here is really going to work. And I think that's where you and I have such a commonality, that like I know that wants to be, yeah, even deeper this year, even in the coming year. And how that gets done, I know it wants to be done in a pretty intimate container too, because it's like get so much out of that, right? Like we've enjoyed even just our little container that we've had here, that we're letting people watch, but it's a really intimate conversation. And for me, that's why I do all the work that I do. If
Yeah.
it's if it's not an intimate conversation, I'm not actually that interested.
I agree. Same, same. And the other thing that comes up for me in this conversation throughout the videos that we've done, we've talked about permission. And I think we also have to give ourselves and encourage other people to give themselves the permission of time and the
Yes.
permission to reflect. And I can share my own personal experience. When I began my human design journey, one of the things that ended up happening later on with COVID was the opportunity to move from Los Angeles to Chicago. And people thought I was out of my head. Why would you go from sunny Southern California to Chicago? And I made the move during the winter. And I made the move to hibernate, because in California it's sunny 24/7 and you don't have permission to go into your jammies, get in bed at 4 o'clock because it's dark, and eat soup and watch Netflix. And I gave myself permission to hibernate and did it intentionally, and came to Chicago in the middle of the winter and came to experience stillness. I needed almost to force myself to do it because I was so wired incorrectly. And again, this idea of the pause and the magic that comes from giving ourselves permission to reflect and giving ourselves permission to pause. And yes, we're tying into the teachings of Mother Nature right now. Like, yes, it's the holidays, and yes, it's holiday break and schedules change and all of that. But if we tap into the wisdom of Mother Nature, hibernation happens every year.
Yes.
And it happens, and we go inside and we reflect, and then we start planting our seeds for the spring, and then the sun comes out, and what we have contemplated and spent time curating then comes into fruition. So this is an important part of what it is that we're offering, an important part that what we need to remember, and to really hone in on the gifts that come in business,
For sure.
and the not doing, and the reflection.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm reflecting back as you're talking about my days in corporate, and I think in corporate America in general, like let's just say I'm going to make a generalization here, is that yeah, our natural rhythms are actually not respected or considered, maybe is a better word for it, in corporate. It's a grind, it's a push, it's a let's meet shareholder expectations. It's like, it's that. And I people who are listening to this may have recalled me saying this before, but like my last couple of years in a corporate job, and this is not about the company I worked for, by the way, this is about me and my pace. I worked at a really high pace. I felt like at the time the numbers of the company that was on my responsibility list as VP of sales, and I worked really hard to yeah, like increase the numbers every year, and we did a really great job doing that. And I also felt like I was in a pressure cooker. I put myself in a pressure cooker, and the last 2 years, I would take off the week, between Christmas and New Year's, and both years I landed in the emergency room on about December 23rd. And it is all about, like, that was completely about me just ignoring the pace of life. Like, there's a rhythm of life, and actually I have the channel that's the rhythm of life, the heartbeat, right? And I was so oblivious to it that I would work, 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 and then the moment I took my foot off the gas pedal, my body just rebelled and would throw me down. And so I think it's interesting we're having this conversation here on December 22nd, because this was my old time when I would land in the hospital, the emergency room, with, kind of some mystery illness that no one ever really did figure out. But now I think what we're really relaying to you all is, as much as we want to come in here and teach, there's this sense, and Julie and I have a sense in different ways because we're really different and uniquely wired, but you have a sense too, that for now it's time to go, like, okay, let's take our foot off the accelerator. There's nothing that anyone needs to know right here before the Christmas holiday, if that's what people celebrate, or whatever piece you celebrate. Like, there's no crucial piece that we have to get right before December 25th. This could be a time for other people as well to just tune into your natural rhythm, tune into Mother Nature's rhythm, and have a time of reflection. And it's interesting. I was talking with Steve about this morning of just, I have a couple more meetings that I'm going to do. And then I really just want some peace and quiet, and nothing on my plate for a few days. And he said, Kim, every time you truly allow yourself that, something big pops through for you. And I said, yeah, I always forget that, but thank you for reminding me, because I forget that that's how it works. Like, none of us are designed to think and grind our way mentally through life. That's the big reminder that I just keep thinking about. Right? None of us are designed to think 24/7 and come to decisions with our minds. None of us are designed that way. Yet, yeah. I would say 99% of us have been conditioned to do that. And so that piece of being, like, really out of alignment, like, this is one of the things that Julie and I are really stressing here as we talk about the program in January and think about how we're going to put that together. Is that's a really big piece, like, not thinking our way through. I see Steve just made a comment for us. I see we have a couple people listening here today. So Steve said in the French culinary tradition, it's called being, I'm gonna butcher this because I'm terrible with foreign languages, y'all know. En mache, E-N, new word, M-A-C-H-E, in step with the seasons. It's how humans work, I think. Yes, exactly. Like, this is really This is really it, that we've just come out of fall and harvested what we had sown last spring, and really watered and nurtured over the summer, and now we're in this place of, yeah, it's time for some reflection, and see what we can get out of that. But I love this conversation. I think it's, yeah, again, and I'm just really feeling the solstice energy. Like I'm just feeling it so deeply right now.
And I
Yeah.
think I think like I'm excited to hear you say that, and I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for all of us, because that's what this time is about. And our conversations have all been about alignment. Everything that we've been talking about is how do we get in alignment with our businesses, and how do we get into alignment with our lives. And Mother Nature helps us get into alignment, and winter helps us get into alignment. And you said something that's really important is rhythm, and we all have different rhythms. And one of the things that we're encouraging is unique expression, and unique expression has a unique rhythm too. And sometimes we just have to take a pause to recalibrate and to connect and to become aware of what that unique rhythm is. And your insight and your awareness of your rhythm and your intuition and the choices that you have made have radically changed since I've known you. And the clarity that you've gained from really learning and trusting and following. And this too is an example of that. This is why. The other thing is that for me, in addition to the introspection and the reflection that winter represents, for me, there's also an aspect of balance. Like you were talking about what you're going to do after you jump off the call. I'm going ice skating. I'm going ice skating with
Ah,
my daughter and my husband. And the importance of finding balance, finding balance. And sometimes we just need friendly reminders. So
yes. And
yeah,
balance, like this is what sort of came to me as you said the word balance. It's, to me, we can't accomplish balance unless we're really in tune with ourselves. So it's not just about how much you're working and how much you're playing. Like I'm thinking about, I had my mom and dad were, just being honest here, putting pressure on me to go to the ball game. I think it's tonight. I don't remember if it's tonight or tomorrow night. Doesn't really matter. Um, and we have season tickets, and it was such a clear no to me. But they wanted, the family and and it's like, no, I can't even say why, but it's just a no. That's part of balance, right? It's even though that would be a fun event and all that, but part of balance is being in tune with what we truly want in the moment, what we truly want. And I thought, oh no, like what I really want to do is hunker down under a blankie and cuddle my dog and maybe have some hot tea. And that just sounds so much more. And it's not that I don't want to be with people, but we have a lot of family stuff coming up over the next few days. And so that's going to be amazing when it happens. And then we also had same thing with we had some invitations for other than family over the next few days, and we just were really honest with everyone who was asking us and said, we just need some downtime. Steve hasn't had a day off since Thanksgiving. He's been working so hard. We just want some cocoon time. We want to have our me and him, and then when Rex comes back, me, him, and Rex, and that's part of balance too. It's not just are we having fun and are we working, like it's also really tuning in to what we actually want. Like, what do I want in this moment? Oh, I think I want a blankie and tea. you
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
so
And I go back to that word permission, giving
right.
yourself permission to say no to the game, and trusting your intuition with what's appropriate for you, and taking action with those things. Like no is an action. It is an action of self-care. It's an action of
Right.
self-care. And again, everything that we've been talking about is about unique expression and 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 um, and permission to be who we are in our businesses and the choices that we make. Because when we are in alignment, that's when the magic happens, and that's really what we're trying to present and share more than anything, is that alignment is the key.
Yeah,
Alignment
that's
is the
that's
key.
it. That's it. So with that said, in alignment, we're going to sign off. Just reminding everybody as you watch the videos, if you catch them on our timelines, absolutely say hi. Let us know you've caught the replay. Let us know what's resonating, that sort of thing. I will also at some point today pop the YouTube links here onto Facebook as well, because they're in a nice little, all the videos are going to be in a nice little playlist over there. Cassidy's been making sure that that happens so that you can, yeah, just catch them all in a row, catch them as a little body of work. And then we'll be back sometime after the new year to keep talking about all this. It's going to be just, yeah, lots of fun in the new year, but for now, rest.
Right,
Right.
right,
All
right,
right.
right.
Oh, this has been so
Right.
much fun. And thank you all for those of you who caught all of them. Thank you so much for watching. Hope they've been really informative and everybody have an amazing, yeah, season here at the end of the year.
And we're excited to see you in 2022.
Yes,
Happy holidays,
absolutely.
everyone.
Yes. Bye-bye,
Happy
everyone.
holidays. Bye.
Bye.